I don't know why CNN would let Donald Trump go up there and say that Joe Biden, stunning and brave, did not win with 81 million votes, the most votes ever. This is a threat to our democracy.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here. Let's talk about the reaction to CNN's town hall. It has been incredibly bad, and it's coming from inside the House.
Many of you have expressed deep anger and disappointment. Many of you are upset that someone who attempted to destroy our democracy was invited to sit on a stage in front of a crowd of Republican voters to answer questions and predictably continued to spew lie after lie after lie. And I get it. It was disturbing. It was disturbing to see and hear that person refer to a black law enforcement officer as a thug, an adjective he used many times to describe black men, and call Caitlin Collins, the moderator, nasty, which is what he calls any woman who stands up to him. It was disturbing to hear him speak so highly of QAnon conspirators and insurrectionists who assaulted police officers in our democracy on January 6th. And it was awful to hear him spread ridiculous lies about the election. And it was certainly disturbing to hear that audience, young and old, our fellow citizens, people who love their kids and go to church, laugh and applaud his lies and his continued defamation of a woman who, according to a jury of his peers, he's sexually abused and defamed. As good a job as Caitlin Collins did trying to fact-check him, it is impossible to fact-check fully because he lies so shamelessly. Now, many of you think CNN shouldn't have given him any platform to speak, and I understand the anger about that. Giving him the audience, the time, I get that. But this is what I also get. The man you were so disturbed to see and hear from last night, that man is the front runner for the Republican nomination for president. And according to polling, no other Republican is even close. That man you were so upset to hear from last night, he may be president of the United States in less than 2 years. And that audience that upset you, that's a sampling of about half the country. They are your family members, your neighbors, and they are voting. And many said they're voting for him. Now, maybe you haven't been paying attention to him since he left office. Maybe you've been enjoying not hearing from him, thinking it can't happen again. Some investigation is going to stop him. Well, it hasn't so far. So if last night showed anything, it showed it can happen again. It is happening again. He hasn't changed, and he is running hard. You have every right to be outraged today and angry and never watch this network again. But do you think staying in your silo and only listening to people you agree with is going to make that person go away?
It was a disgraceful performance.
Yes.
I'm constantly telling people not to catastrophize over Trump, that he's actually going to lose because he keeps drilling down deeper and deeper into his base. But it is. I can't believe I'm going to use catastrophizing language here. But it was disgraceful on every level. It showed, I wouldn't say it's dangerous for democracy because we passed that a long time ago, but it showed the corrosive effects of Trumpism over 8 years. And I've got to say, the most shocking part was an audience who cheered on a president who tried to overturn American democracy. An audience that mocked and ridiculed a woman who a jury of her peers, Donald Trump's peers, found had been sexually assaulted. Those Americans there last night turned that into a punchline, laughed and dismissed cops getting the shit kicked out of them on January the 6th, beaten up over and over again. Calling a cop a thug who actually was trying to stop people from the House floor from being killed. I just could go on and on, basically saying he would turn over Ukraine to Vladimir Putin. And it was on John Meacham on every front. You could go piece by piece by piece to talk about how breathtakingly dangerous what we saw was last night. This virus of lies that's been loosened on the American people. But what we saw last night was a propagandist. And it was a propagandist spewing lies repeatedly over and over and over and over and over again. And an audience, an American audience, lapping it up. This isn't Putin's Russia. This is Trump's slice of America. And what I saw last night, at least, was as chilling as anything I've seen on television since January the 6th.
Yeah, what we're looking at is that his reality has become.
We're in a break now from the presidential town hall with CNN, Caitlin Collins, and whatever the fuck they thought they were going to get out of this, they instead have set a match to democracy once again. You are letting an insane person stand there and make people giggle and laugh when he jokes about rape. You make people giggle and laugh when he jokes about abortion, when he calls an African-American police officer a thug. This insanity should be pulled off the fucking air. Chris Licht, you should be ashamed of yourself. This is astoundingly bad for the brand of CNN. It's astoundingly bad for the country. And it's astoundingly bad, honestly, folks, for every other Republican candidate in the primaries. Wrap that shit up. It's done. You saw this tonight. You know you can't beat him on the stage. Everybody else, oars up. Time to go to work because he's going to be the nominee. This shit is unfucking believable. I've never seen anything like it. It is a disaster of the highest fucking degree.
Next time the folks on cable news or in the liberal media or wherever they are tell you that no, they're just calling the facts as they are. They're just telling you the truth. They're not the enemy of the people. They are unbiased observers. They're journalists, after all. Remember this. What they're upset about is that Donald Trump, a candidate for president of the United States, the former president of the United States, was able to go on television and say words. They want him silenced, even though they went on afterwards and called him a liar repeatedly, even though in the moment, Caitlin Collins incorrectly called him a liar on the scene. And by the way, Trump has some truth issues, don't get me wrong. But even though all of that was allowed afterwards with no penalty, including Caitlin Collins now being elevated to prime time apparently, they're still so upset that they'll go on their own network and boo-hoo about the idea. Anderson Cooper sounds completely insane here. Jake Tapper sounds completely insane here. They all sound completely insane here because they want to have a one-way monopoly. And anything that threatens that scares them, so they lash out like this. Don't let them tell you that these people are not just Democrat activists. That's exactly what they are, and we all know it.